Senate, please come to order. When the technology failed us, the senator from Orleans had the floor and had just started an interrogation of the senator from Chittenden Southeast. My understanding is the beginning of the interrogation with the word "the" seems to get through, and beyond that, the Senate will now have to hear the repeat of the senator from Orleans question, preface, monologue, and eventual question to the senator from Chittenden Southeast.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm glad one word got through. Could the chair of Health and Welfare explain to us if they did a cost impact study of the cost of allowing a compact for social workers to be put into place, and if that was compared to what it's cost our healthcare system to allow nurses to join compacts and travel short distances and double their salaries.
Thank you for the question, Mr. President. The compact, social work compact bill deals only with allowing folks to have licenses and practice in other states. This does not deal with traveling nurses or the nurse compact. And the question that you ask, or Mr. President, regarding a comparative analysis might be of interest at some point, but it is not integral to the bill.
So we really do not have any means of comparing or understanding what this could cost our health, really our health system, taking care of people that need social workers to work for us publicly, how much more it's going to cost us in a year of time.
So, Mr. President, the value of the social work compact is that it will allow, for example, a student to travel out of Vermont or into Vermont, and if their social worker is their counselor in their home state, and that social worker is a member of the compact, the social worker can continue to counsel that student in this state or the other state remotely, using technology, and that will most likely save that student some dollars will save the practitioner some dollars in terms of having to travel back and forth. This bill is not about traveling nurses, and it is not about a nurse compact. It's only about licensure for social workers, and ultimately, it is a workforce bill. So ultimately, we could see some social workers coming into the state to provide support when we need it very much.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the member from Chittenden, Chair of Health and Welfare. Well, I think, that's a part answer to my concerns. I think a few years back when we passed the compact to allow nurses, we were told the same story that, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to have nurses come. We're going to fill our vacancies, and it's going to be good for our people, good for our state, and we passed it. Well, it turned out that it certainly cost our little VNA in Orleans, Essex County, it's actually millions of dollars. It's about $1 million a year in extra revenue that we've had to raise. And I'm just speaking, thinking ahead, that I wished we had put a clause in there to monitor that extra cost And I think this bill would, the cost of our social workers, I'd like to know what it's gonna be in 4 years from now or 5 years from now. But I would hope that the Senate would have some way of analyzing and reviewing that to see if we still want to be a member of the compact, because I know what happened to us with our former compact. And the one that I mentioned, it brought money home and it helped our dairy industry. And I don't like saying this, but the visiting nurses compact, I think, has cost us millions of dollars, and if not hundreds of millions. And I think this one will end up in the same place. Thank you.
Question is, shall H 543 be read a third time? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay.
No.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have, and you have ordered third reading of H 543, Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the comments from my colleague from Orleans. With that said, I do believe that the Committee of Jurisdiction and the Appropriations Committee are very solidly behind this bill. And with that in mind, I would ask that the Senate suspend its rules in order to move this bill through all remaining stages of passage.
Now the Senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate suspend its rules in order to place H 543, an act relating to Vermont's adoption of the Social Work Licensure Compact, through all remaining stages of passage. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, and you've suspended your rules in order to place H 543 through all remaining stages of passage. H 543 had third reading ordered. The next question would be, are there any amendments before third reading? Seeing none, please listen to the third reading of the bill.
H 543, an act relating to Vermont's adoption of the Social Work Licensure Compact.
Now you've heard the third reading of the bill, and the question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, and you have passed H 543, Senator from Chittenden Central.
With that, Mr. President, I would move that the point of information, do I need to suspend the rules in order to message the bill?
Yes, you do.
Thank you. With that said, I would ask that the Senate suspend its rules in order to message the actions just taken on H 543 to the House forthwith.
Now the Senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate suspend its rules in order to message your actions taken on H 543 to the House forthwith. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, and you have suspended rules in order to message your actions taken on H 543 to the House forthwith. Senator from Chittenden Central.
With that, Mr. President, I would move that pending announcements, the Senate stand in adjournment until 11:30 a.m. Friday, unless you need to gavel out of the order.
Or is they are done, Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that said, I would move that the Senate stand in adjournment until 11:30 a.m. Friday, April 5th.
Are there any announcements? Senator from Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Finance will meet 10 minutes after the fall of the gavel.
Senator from Bennington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Education will meet 10 minutes after the fall of the gavel.
Senator from Addison.
Ditto for the Government Operations Committee.
Senator from Essex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate institutions will meet at 2:10, please. Thank you.
Senator from Windsor.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we can see from today's weather, April is indeed the coolest month. But it also brings several birthdays and cabaret. Cabaret is 3 weeks from tonight. I urge the Senate to consider a strong showing with 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3. It's the 25th. Oh, it's the 18th. Wendy's right. Thank goodness for Senator Harris.
Senator Harrison.
2 weeks from tonight. God, you gotta love her. So I encourage all of us to be working. It's not that it's a competition between the House and the Senate, but it would be great to have the Senate have a strong showing with all the amazing talent that we have in these 30 chairs. Cabaret, April 18th at some hour to be determined. Thank you very much.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, the Senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate now stand adjournment until Friday, April 5th at 11:30 a.m. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate will stand adjournment until Friday, April 5th at 11:30.